Well, I'll tell you how I came across the product. I had a buddy of mine that hunts with me. We've been hunting since we were, young. And anyways, he had hunted and was having a lot of success getting deer to come in on him. He hunts with a stick bow that he made, and he's killed some 150 class deer with, so shooting a stick bow, you've got to get them in really close. And he wears his clothes up on the hill, and I'd pack all my stuff in a container and scent lock, and I was getting blown. I mean, if that wind blew went towards the deer, they were gone, and he wasn't. And I was like, going, what in the heck is going on? Because he'd go to Huck's grocery store and get him something to drink before he'd go to the stand, and he wasn't getting busted. So he started telling me about your product, and I was like, heck, I got to try some of that. So, anyways, I got a stick of it this year, or he gave me a stick, and started using it, and probably the first time I really noticed that there was something to it. I climbed up in the stand, and I'd been hunting this deer that I eventually shot, and he didn't stay on the property a lot. And if you pushed him at all, he wouldn't. He just disappeared forever. We called him Pickaboo because he kind of popped in and out. And anyways, he had moved to a different area on the farm, and so I brought the stick with me. It was deer and rut, and when I climbed up, I went to put it on the tree, and a part of the stick fell out on the ground. And then that morning, I had 6 bucks come in. Every one of them came in downwind, looked right over at the tree where I was at, started chasing does. They were fighting each other, and I went, there's something to this. So after that, I started using it every time I went out. The VS1 was just incredible. And what was wild about it is I'd be, like I said, this deer that I was hunting, if you pushed him much at all, he would just disappear and go somewhere else. He stayed a lot on other properties.
You
I
don't see
think we
me?
lost Doug.
Okay.
Okay.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Robert.
That's all right. Anyways, my buddy, he had tagged out, and he moved a camera about 400 yards where I was hunting, and we got him on camera again. And so I moved over there and started hunting. It's late December, and usually the rut's telling down then. And I found one little scrape over where I was hunting, and I put this VS1 on it. And within probably 2 weeks' time, I bet there were 6 scrapes in that area where it's just like the buck started moving in there. And then this deer I call Pickaboo, he started popping in there a lot more at the time. And just there's some other circumstances going on. I wasn't able to hunt like I wanted to. And it was January 3rd. And I was worried about him dropping his horn, shedding. Anyways, I knew I was running out of time. I got to the stand about an hour and 15 minutes before daylight. And I put the whole stick, I opened it up, and I put it right at the base of my tree because I knew it was a real marginal wind, but I was running out of time, so I had to kind of push it a little bit. And there was about a 3.5-year-old 10-pointer that came in probably 15 minutes after I got up in the stand, came downwind of me, walked right in behind the tree, and I went, well, here it goes. He's going to start blowing, and it's over. So, anyways, he stood there and he stomped his foot a little bit, and he went in front of me and worked a scrape, and then I had a mineral lick and some corns out in front of me, and heck, he went out there for an hour and 15 minutes until it got daylight, and just stood there, didn't even bother him, and then after that, I had 3 or 4 more bucks come in and work scrapes, and then about 10 minutes later, I looked out of the corner of my eyes, downwind again, and here come my doe, and this deer I call Pickaboo. He was right in behind her. She came in, walked right under my stand, and he was 15 yards, and I went, well, heck, I didn't know if I could draw back or not, and I just figured, heck, I got to try. So, anyways, I was able to draw back and got the shot, and everything was downwind of me. I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it's one of the things we still are finding amazing is how, because the scents are so fresh and they're so real, that the deer are coming from downwind, they feel safe, even if they have a little bit of smell of you, and they have that real deer smell, whether it's the VS1 or the Evercalm. They still have their nose tells them it's still okay to come in because there's deer up in front of us, so it has to be safe. Um, it's just amazing. But something you brought up that is intriguing. We did a podcast today, and I talked about using VS1 and that it's more effective actually even after the initial rut because the bucks are still looking to breed does. And you just kind of verified that with your story of how effective it is later in the season of those bucks wanting to come to it, still looking for those does to breed. Uh, and again, if they can't find them, they just kind of either hang around or they and go amongst their business. But um, so yeah, I appreciate the validation that actually something I said earlier today actually may have been right.
I saw more buck activity uh, after Christmas than I did the whole season. And like I said, there was a scrape, one little bitty scrape there, and I put that BS1 on it. And then the next time I went out, there were six of them, and there were just seemed like every buck in the area coming from different directions were coming just to check that area out. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It made me a believer.
Well, I appreciate that. It's a lot of fun when it has it, and it makes hunting fun. I mean, you're seeing that many different bucks coming from different directions. It makes it easy sitting out in the cold weather
Oh yeah.
in the hunting
I,
season. That's for
I
sure.
started putting it on. If I found a scrape, I'd put it on the licking branch and in front of my camera, so it just seemed like it drew in a lot more bucks.
Well, we sure appreciate you being a Conquest Sense user, and the story is always amazing. I mean, I have a lot of people tell me stories, but every one of them's unique. They're different. And, I learned things from you guys that are out there hunting with it and using it. Yeah, I go out and hunt, but in the fall, we're so crazy busy, we don't get to hunt like we normally would like to do it. So I kind of have to live through vicariously through you guys.
It was crazy. Is this deer is a smart deer. He lived on state ground and he was pretty savvy. And if you put any kind of pressure on him, he was gone. And it's just I don't know. It's wild. It just brought him right in.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Congratulations. What do you end up scoring?
193 and a half.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Mainframe 10 or what was
Now
it?
he's a mainframe 14, and then he
Okay.
had a split on his G2, and he had an extra point on the time.
Gee
So
whiz.
yeah,
You just shot a deer. You shot a deer of a lifetime.
oh yeah, that's a lifetime there.
That is awesome. Well, hey, I know Dave. I talked before we got on with you, and he mentioned it too. He's going to get your address and all that. We'll get some more scent products and stuff out to you. Make sure you give him his your shirt size, like for sweatshirts and stuff.
Okay,
And we'll get you all logoed up with Conquest scents. But we sure appreciate you spending the time to give us your story.
yeah, I appreciate it.
Well, good luck this coming fall, and I'd love to see you do a repeat.
Oh, I'd love that.
Sounds good. Well, again, nice meeting you and appreciate all the help.
All right, thank you.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.